Okay. Hey guys, it's Saturday, it's 9 a.m. I'm just out of bed. I've had a very large coffee and I have just factored in no rest in today's session. So we're going to be working for 14 minutes and 40 seconds straight. So if you got your water, forget it. You don't need water where we're going. So what we're going to need though is our kettlebell, okay? And I'm going to have to mute myself. I don't need to listen to myself either. So we're going to have to get our kettlebell. We don't need a chair unless you're going to be scaling your exercises. Get your tunes on, get yourself set up in with the space you need. Get your equipment ready, and we're going to get kicking off in about 15 seconds. So if you're coming in from anywhere in the world, let me know. Give us a comment. If you've got any questions, give us a comment. I have a screen behind the camera, and I can see what's going on. You might see me squint at the screen, but that's just me trying to read the comments as they come in. So we're going to be doing a bootstrap session today. That means we're going to be bootstrapping our way up through a series of exercises and building up a workout over 7 exercises. So like I said, for those of you just coming in, all you need is your kettlebell and no water, because there ain't no rest today for 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, hey guys, come on in. Good stuff. Numbers are coming up. Okay, excellent. All right. So we'll get into our warm-up. We're just going to start lunging to get warm. So get your feet hip width, big stride forward, drop the knee to the floor, squeeze the abs, push yourself away. Big stride forward, drop the knee, squeeze the abs, push yourself away. So the abs are really important because what they do is they allow the body to transfer that energy, all that energy, huge amounts of energy from the lower body into the upper body. It keeps you upright and makes sure you don't fall forward and push the body off kilter and therefore damage any knees or anything. And it also protects the spine. Plus, you get a little bit of ab work in there too. All right, so from here, we're now going to go into squats, feet shoulder width. Push the hips back and down into your squat. Drive the knees out to the side and up. When you're squatting down, drive those knees out to the side. Too many times our knees fall in under the body. Keep them pushed out aggressively to the side. Like you got one of those big Swiss balls, big inflatable Swiss balls or gym balls in between your knees, and they're being forced out. Keeping the whole sole of that foot in contact with the floor at all times. Okay, so at the bottom, what we're going to do now is we're going to hook our fingers under our toes, and then we're going to raise our hips nice and high, get a stretch on the hamstrings and the glutes, and then sit ourselves down into that squat. Push the knees out aggressively with the elbows, and then back up high with the hips again. Keep the fingers under the toes. Oh, I needed that coffee this morning. So if you're watching this on record, give us a comment afterwards. Let us know how you got on. It's great hearing people swearing at me in the comment section after workouts. No, they don't. They generally just kind of wipe their hand across the keyboard in an attempt to write a message after the sessions because they're tough. Okay, so from here, walk out into a plank position. We're going to bring our right foot forward. You can drop your left knee to the floor. Big arm rotation, get as much of a twist as possible on the shoulder blades, and then back down and change. Big arm rotation, click, click, click on the back, that's okay, that's just the ligaments. Returning back to their original position and change again. Don't forget to breathe. And change again. So think about today as you're going for a kind of a middle distance run, 5 to 10K run. You're not going to go 100 kilometers an hour out of the traps. You're going to pace yourself and you're going to continuously move. That's the same type of format we're going to be going for today. Every 40 seconds, we're going to be changing the exercise, but we'll be building on the previous exercise. So for example, we're going to be starting with a single arm row, and then that goes into a deadlift, and then that goes into a clean, and then a clean with a squat. Okay, up we come. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exercises. Sorry, I'm counting on the screen behind you. We're going to go through our 7 exercises. First thing we're going to do is a staggered stance. Okay, so side on. I got my 2 feet hip width. I'm going to put my left in front and my right slightly behind, and I'm up on the toe on my right foot. So all the weight, or majority of my body weight, is on my left side. And we're going to be going into a single arm row for 40 seconds. After that, it's going to be a deadlift, followed by a clean, a squat clean, a thruster, and then overhead rear lunge and a windmill. No burpees. All right, so we're kicking off in 10 seconds. Get your bell. Get into that staggered stance that we just covered. Shoulders back, chest out. Push your butt back, head up. You can put your elbow on your knee if necessary. And let's go into our single arm row. So we're going right side first. Focusing on that right lat. Keeping those shoulder blades back, that chest out, and that head up. So in 22 seconds, you're going to keep the stance as it is, and we're going to do a deadlift. 10 seconds. There is no rest. One exercise leads straight into the next from a movement perspective and a time perspective. And deadlift. So I'm pushing my hips back and standing up tall, keeping my shoulder blades pinned back, keeping my abs nice and tight. So after this, we're then going to go into a clean. And the clean is where the deadlift carries all the way up to the chest. And like I was saying in the warm-up, it's all about transferring the energy from the lower portion of the body into the upper. And in order to do that, you got to squeeze those abs and maintain that posture. So in 8 seconds, we're going to bring our 2 feet forward, hip width apart, and we're going to clean that bell with the same hinge movement up to the chest. Let's go. Feet hip width, hips back into a deadlift, drive the floor away, and that bell pops up to the chest. Now, one little thing you can do to help this is when the hips lock into position, you squeeze your abs, and you also shrug the shoulder. And that just helps that bell pop just that little bit more up onto the chest. 15 seconds, we're going to add a squat to it. So when that bell arrives up on the chest, we drop into a squat. So in order to do that, we're going to have to jump our feet out a little wider. 3, 2, 1. And we're squatting with the clean. Out of the squat, bell goes to the floor. Hinge, drive it up, and squat. So you can see how the bootstrap analogy is applied here. Every exercise leads into the next. Don't go crazy on the tempo. Remember, you're moving for pretty much 15 minutes on the button. 10 seconds, and then we're going to be going into a thruster from the squat. 3, 2, 1. Keep going from the squat into an overhead press, and then back down to the floor. Drive it up, squat it down, punch it up, back to the floor. That right shoulder is now burning. Woo. Keep moving. 18 seconds. And then afterwards, we're going to be throwing a rear lunge on the right leg when the bell is above the head into the play. 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Keep going when the bell is above your head. We then go right leg, rear lunge to the floor, and back up. And then carry on from the floor again. 25 seconds to go. If you're struggling with the overhead lunge, bring the bell back to the chest before you initiate the lunge. 15 seconds, and then we're going to go into a windmill after the rear lunge. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. Complete your overhead rear lunge. When you're finished it before the bell goes to the floor, run your left hand down your leg, keeping an eye on the bell, back up, and then it goes to the floor again. Oh man. What did I do there? Oh, I got confused. So remember, we're starting always with the bell on the floor, and then we're just adding that extra dimension. 10 seconds, and then we're going into a left side single arm row. And left arm, stagger that stance, single arm row, let's go. We're back to the start again, but this time it's on the left side. Oh man, gassed already. Woo! Keep moving. Keep the chest out. Keep the abs tight. After this, we're going into our staggered deadlift. 18 seconds away. 10 seconds. Keep the posture, because we're going to be bringing the posture into the deadlift still. Let's deadlift. Keep the staggered stance. Maintain that hip width gap. I'm feeling that pressure to my right hamstring, right glute. Keep the posture on the shoulder blades, like you're squeezing a tennis ball between them. Keep the abs tight. Focus on that right hamstring, right butt cheek, doing the movement, while the shoulder blade and the abs hold the posture. 8 seconds, and then I'm going to bring my left foot forward to match my right, but maintain hip width, and it's going to be a clean from the floor to the chest. And clean it. So you just put on the afterburners on that deadlift, and it propels the bell up to the shoulder. Combine that with a squeeze on the abs and a shoulder shrug, and then you've got yourself a clean. You are not lifting the bell with your arm, you are driving the floor away with your legs and refusing to let go of the bell, and that in turn steers it onto the chest. The power comes from that hip leg extension. Abs stay tight, they're the handbrake for your hips. 5 seconds, it's going to be a squat after you've cleaned it. And let's go into a squat. Bell then goes back to the floor. Clean it, squat it, back to the floor. Take your time. It takes the guts of 5 minutes to get through one full sequence of 7 exercises. 15 seconds, and then that squat is going to turn into a thruster. So when you come out of the squat, the bell gets punched above the head. Woo! 5 seconds. Keep moving. Okay, add the thruster now. Clean it, squat it, thruster, and then back to the floor. At the floor, take a second. Dial in the technique, dial in the posture. Build tension in your body, in the frame, and then release that pressure down through the soles of your feet. 20 seconds. We're going to be going into our overhead rear lunge after the thruster. 15 seconds. Don't freak out if you miss one. Just keep moving. 7 seconds. 3, 2, carry on as normal. When the bell is above your head, rear lunge with that same leg, and then back. Start all over again. Floor, clean it, squat it, thrust it, overhead rear lunge it. You got to keep those abs tight. Woo! 25 seconds. And then we go into our windmill after we finished the overhead rear lunge. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Keep it going. You're now going to add the windmill when you're finished your rear lunge. And you only go as low as that bell above the body will allow. If the bell starts to fall forwards or backwards, then you don't go any lower with the hand on your leg. Nice work. 18 seconds. Then we're back to our last round, and it's going to be staggered on the right for half the round. Then we're going to switch. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stagger that stance. Right hand holding the bell. Deadlift. Single arm row. Let's go. So at halfway, which I will give you the shout, we're going to change hands. 5 seconds to switching the feet and the hands. Maintain that same movement and change hands. So at the end of this round, we're going to switch hands back and we're going to do a staggered deadlift holding in the right hand. Oh, focus on that lat. And switch hands, switch feet, staggered deadlift. Woo! No more single arm row for you. This is the last time through the 7 exercise circuit. Oh man, heart rate is up. Getting ready to change feet and hands now. So I'm staggered deadlift on the left now. After this, I'm gonna switch back to the right. I'm gonna have my feet hip width apart, and I'm gonna do cleans, holding on the right hand. If you're struggling, you can use 2 hands. 2, 1, back, right hand, feet hip width, drive floor away, rack it on the chest. So build that tension at the bottom of the clean, abs tight, shoulder blades back, tension through the soles of the feet, drive the floor away under control, shrug the shoulder at the top of the hip extension and the abs at the same time. Change hands now. Keep going on the clean. It's really important that you set your movement pattern up before that bell leaves the floor. If you don't, you're going to rush it and you're going to end up hurting yourself. 5 seconds, we're back to the right hand and we're going to go into the squat clean. Let's go, back to the right hand. Clean it, squat it, back to the floor. Almost home, guys, stay with me. Earn that rest period, which is coming up in about 2.5 minutes. Okay, change to the left. Clean it and squat it. Woo! Oh, where else would you be on a Saturday, hey? 10 seconds, and then we're gonna go back to the right, and we're gonna add the thruster with the squat. Back to the right, clean it, squat it, thruster, back to the floor. Drive that floor away aggressively through the soles of your feet. Abs are tight, shoulder blades are pinned, and change hands to the left. Oh, woo. 12 seconds, then we're back to the right, and then when that bell is overhead, you're gonna do a rear lunge on the right leg. 3, 2, 1. Clean it, squat it, thrust it, rear lunge it. Woo. Almost home, come on. Keep moving through the full range of these exercises. 3 seconds, we're changing back to the left. Change back to the left. Clean it, squat it, thrust it, rear lunge it. Keep the abs tight. That's where your balance and your stability comes from. 7 seconds, we're back to the right hand for the last version. Back to the right now. All right, clean it. Woo! Squat it, thrust it, rear lunge it, windmill it. You got this. Oh man. Clean it, squat it, thrust it, rear lunge it, windmill, and change to the left. Now, last 20 seconds. Bootstrap. Woo! Oh. You're inside the last 10, last one. Come on. And rest. Woo! Choreography, hey? Pivot, pop, step, step. Not pivot, step, pop, pop. Simpsons. Okay, guys. Your heart rate is well and truly up now. We have literally worked every muscle in the body except for the pecs. So if you're going to do anything, I would suggest getting some cardio in, but also throw some push-ups in there, and then you're guaranteed to have done the full body plus cardio. Go now. If you're doing cardio, try and go for 20 minutes or longer. Not at a crazy pace, you're just at a maintenance pace, heart rate wise. If you're still with me, we're going into a passive hang. Feet nice and wide, Soften the knees, stick the butt out the back, drop the backs of the hands to the floor, and sink into it with every exhale. In through nose, out through mouth. And breathe, 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 breathe. We're aiming to get our heart rate down through our breathing. And we're also looking to release everything on the back of the body, from the heels all the way up into the back of the knees and everything in between. And then from there into the glutes and everything in between. And then over the hips, into the lower back, into the shoulder blades into the shoulder sockets. And with every exhale, we sink even further into the stretch. We don't push into the stretch, passively sink into the stretch. Okay, we're going to go into a right foot forward, left knee on floor, lunge with a hip flexor. So we're now going to put, wow, that was tough. Yeah, but it was quick though, it flew by, right? Okay, you're going to tip that knee forward like a throttle. Feel that stretch on the hip flexor, foot on the floor in front, fully flat. Foot on the floor in front, fully flat. Yeah, there you go. Poet. Whew. So we're looking to exhale, relax our shoulder blades, breathe, breathe, breathe through the stretch. Control that breathing. Whew. That's it. My Spotify has just turned off, and I can only assume one of the kids who's using my Spotify account at home has just decided to ask Google to play it some music. Okay, change sides. Oh well, the workout's over, it's okay. Oh, relax the shoulder blades. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of a session, I'm using my Spotify, I forget they have access, and then you get Baby Shark or The Floor is Lava playing in the middle of a hardcore session, which doesn't exactly do anything for the motivation, except for The Floor is Lava. Then obviously the floor is lava, so you got to get off the floor. Whew. Good stuff, guys. Okay, standing up tall, big breath in through the nose, whew, out the mouth. Excellent work, guys. So it's always a good yardstick to come back and try sessions like that. So everyone has a session that they hated or they found really tough. So if you did, put a little pin in it, maybe make a note of the date or flag it or save the URL, and then you can come back and try it again in about 4 or 5 weeks and just compare. It's always really good to have a benchmark to compare against. So if you're going to do that, save the URL, come back to me in 4 weeks' time. Let me know how you got on with the comparison workout, and we will see you live on Wednesday, so in 4 days, 5 days' time. All right, till then, guys, have a good one. Enjoy your day.